No lip service, no platitudes. Action, action, we want action!
Now at 6, things got heated during a Portland City Councilor meeting as councilors discussed a proposed amendment to give detention facilities an annual fee. We'll have more from outbursts from community members at that meeting and later this hour.
A local Chipotle cleaning up this morning after police say a driver crashed into it on purpose. We're going to have a closer look at the damage coming up in a live report.
And new data from the state shows that schools are still struggling with chronic absenteeism. Oregon's Department of Education is hoping to get kids to come to class.
Also, Leaf Day is today for some parts of Portland. That means if you don't move your car, it could be towed. We'll have all the details on which parts of the city have Leaf Day today as we kick off the 6 o'clock hour of sunrise right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Thursday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. It's Thursday, and it's Leaf Day for some.
Yeah.
Chris McGinnis with your traffic update, and Rod Hill with your forecast right now.
You asked me about the leaves earlier in the show, so over the weekend I got my first real big batch of leaves up, and I climbed up the tree, put the leaf container, and I was jumping down in it. And I got most of them in there, but now I've got to do it again this weekend. All right, we've got scattered showers across the area. After a little push of steady rain last night that dropped just shy of 0.2 of an inch of rain out at the airport, PDX. Here's what's left, the lingering scattered showers. Newport, some rain pushing inland. There's a heavier shower up around Astoria. Good visibility and warmer temperatures this morning thanks to the cloudiness and passing showers. 44 reported in Salem. Good visibility coming into Portland, and 46. Winds are generally 5 to 15. So we're in the 40s at the bus stop. Scattered shower threat kind of fizzles out slowly during the morning. 51 at noon, and then mainly dry, and 54. Partly cloudy when the kids get out of school. Here's Chris.
Rod, thank you. We start off with a rough morning commute here, but several traffic alerts to pass along. First off, southbound near the Interstate Bridge, an earlier disabled vehicle that's out of the way, but a fender bender still causing some extra delays here near the SR 14 exit. So as you work your way out of Clark County, there's the lineup right now already at SR 500. Your trip in from Main Street to the Fremont has jumped up to about 20 minutes. On the other side of town, we head down to Wilsonville, northbound I-5 heading up and over the Boone Bridge. A crash has 2 northbound lanes blocked and traffic is quickly stacking up back towards Arndt Road. So your trip in from Charbonneau running really slow. And last but not least, in Polk County, Highway 51 right now remains closed after an early morning crash. I have no word on any injuries with this crash, but ODOT says Highway 51 is closed just north of Independence. Your detour to get around that, Rogers Road to the south and Greenwood Road to the north. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Starting at 7:30 this morning, the Tualatin Police Department and other law enforcement agencies from Clackamas County will begin a traffic enforcement mission to ensure drivers are safe while they're commuting. Multiple traffic officers will be deployed throughout the city to look for dangerous driving behaviors like speeding, distracted driving, and following too closely. The traffic mission will end at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office is investigating after someone drove a car into the Wood Village Chipotle last night.
According to deputies, the driver crashed on purpose. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live from the location with a look at the damage and where the investigation stands. Good morning, Corey.
Good morning, China. Drew, that's right. The crash happened last night around 7 at this Chipotle in the 900 block of Northeast Wood Village Drive. Now, this morning, the damage still very apparent at the location. You can see further ahead, there are some windows boarded up at this time as employees make their way into the location this morning. There's also crime scene tape that's blocking off the driveway, or the parking lot rather, preventing any cars later this morning from entering into the property. Now, authorities say the driver hit the front of the restaurant Wednesday night, then backed out and took off. Staff and customers were inside at the time, but thankfully no one was injured. However, several windows are now damaged, and that forced the business to close early last night. Deputies say it appears whoever did this did it on purpose, but they're not sure exactly why. The incident is now being investigated as first-degree criminal mischief.
Kind of makes you feel bad because, it's like, what does the world come to, People driving their cars into restaurants, like people just working, people trying to get food.
Now, Multnomah County investigators are working to identify the driver involved in this crash. They're using information from community members as well as evidence that they've gathered at the scene. They're asking anybody with information related to the incident to give them a call. Drew, China.
Right. Corey Johnson live for us this morning there in Wood Village. There's a warrant out for a Portland woman accused of neglecting her 2 children after she failed to show up for court 2 days in a row. Last Friday, police performed a welfare check at the Southeast Portland apartment of 32-year-old Ruby Godina Velador. Family members reported her saying that she didn't pick up her 9-year-old daughter from school that day. Officers described the living conditions as filthy and dangerous, with rotten food in the apartment and feces smeared on the walls. Police also say the woman's 11-year-old autistic son was sitting alone on the couch naked. They found the mom in another room and took her into custody.
Police in Gresham found the puppy they say was stolen during a robbery on Monday night. We reported this yesterday. The owner of this 9-month-old German Shepherd mix says 4 people attacked him and took the dog. While police say the dog is safe, they're not releasing any other details about how she was found, saying the case is still under investigation. Governor Tina Kotek has signed the Community Safety Firearms Act into law, banning rapid-fire devices like bump stocks and forced reset triggers. The law creates new penalties for possessing, transporting, or manufacturing the devices, and also lets local governments and school boards restrict guns in certain public settings. It also sets a March 2026 start date for Measure 114, which mandates permits for guns and bans large-capacity magazines. That measure is still under review by the Oregon Supreme Court.
We continue to follow efforts to roll back some of the taxes included in Oregon's new transportation funding bill. A group of state Republicans say they have over half the signatures needed to refer the taxes to voters. They're trying to collect 100,000 signatures by the end of the year. If they get those signatures and they're verified, this issue could make it onto next November's ballot.
Trimet says it's eliminating 68 positions as it deals with budget issues. More than half of those positions were vacant, through 26 employees were also laid off. Trimet says no union members or employees lost their jobs, but some were transferred to a different position if their current job was eliminated.
The revenue forecast for the state of Oregon through the year 2027 is up by more than $300 million. The Office of Economic Analysis says corporate income taxes are the biggest reason for the forecast jump since last quarter, but it's still not enough to get the state back into the black. Oregon is facing a projected $63.1 million deficit, meaning there could be cuts coming to state programs. The state is also looking at a drop in federal funding because of the Republican spending bill that passed over the summer.
For years, Oregon students have struggled in the classroom and rank among the lowest nationwide in reading and math.
One of the biggest problems is kids missing school days too often. We have some new numbers this morning to share that show how attendance fared last year. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz covering the story for us live in downtown Portland. So Thomas, break down those numbers for us.
Well, guys, it's really a bit of a mixed bag. On one hand, they are a little bit better than years past. On the other, they're still way below numbers of students who are regular attendees in class than pre-pandemic levels. Now, for years, especially since the pandemic, nationally, schools have all really struggled to get kids back into the classroom on a regular basis. A kid is labeled chronically absent when they miss 10% of school days or more. The more school they miss, of course, the more likely they are to fall behind their peers. Last year, more than a third of students in Oregon were chronically absent, meaning hundreds of thousands of kids just didn't go to school often enough. Before the pandemic, around 80% of students were regular attendees. Recently, Oregon has strayed away from penalizing families whose kids miss school. Oregon Department of Education Director Dr. Charlene Williams says they don't have a plan to add punishments either, like truancy court, which some states do. Instead, they're looking into logistical changes, like more transportation support or after-school care they can provide to ensure kids get to school.
Is it fair to penalize them potentially if there are systems we can help put in place? And so it's a complex topic that we need to continue to wrestle with.
A complex topic they've been wrestling with for years, guys, since really 2020. And look, again, even as bad as these numbers are, again, a third of kids are not going to school often enough. They are still slight improvements from what Oregon's seen over the past few years. So something they're continuing to grapple with. Guys.
All right, Thomas Schultz with the numbers breakdown for us. on this Thursday morning. Thank you, Thomas. All right, before we get back to Rod, how about the Blazers last night against the Bulls? This is the game-winning shot by the Bulls at the buzzer. A heartbreaking loss for the Blazers. Final score last night, Bulls 122, Blazers 121. There was a huge comeback here. I'll talk to you about that in just a second, but we should mention the Blazers have now lost 6 out of the last 7 games, so they're on a slide for sure. Back on the road tomorrow night to face the Warriors. So I'm watching this game. Last night was a very weird sleep night for me. A lot of people go, oh, you're probably used to waking up at 2:30 in the morning. You don't really get used to it. Yeah. It always hurts, okay? I'm telling you, it hurts. And last night I was in bed at 5:30, asleep.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's
Yeah.
really good for you.
Great.
Too early.
The bad part was, too early. I'm up at 8:15.
Woof.
And so I'm watching the Blazers. I watched it to the end. They were down huge in the fourth quarter. I think the run they went on was something like 31-7.
The
They
Blazers.
outscored the Blazers outscored the Bulls 31-7. They take the lead. They've got all the momentum. I'm like, they're going to win this game. And Chicago, we just showed you, had a chance with like a second left to take one shot. They took it. They made it. They win the game instead.
Must have been fun to be at the game, though.
It was a great comeback, but what does it mean when you lose?
Yeah.
So what I got out of that story was it's bad luck for the Blazers when you watch them.
Oh, that's you know how I feel about this. None of us have that kind of influence, Rod.
Drew doesn't believe that no matter what you do as a fan has an impact on the field or the court. I don't get it. Here's Timberline Lodge. We've got snow on the ground. About an inch has fallen. Was snowing pretty good up there just a bit ago. Now they're in a dry spot, 29 degrees. Passes, not bad. Here's Government Camp. That's all clean, obviously, 34 degrees. Santiago, they've had some decent snow showers, 31, but the pavement looks pretty good. Pavement looks good, but it's 30 at Willamette Pass. So it is that time of the season. You really should always, let me get the word out, check conditions before you travel. 1 to 3 inches potential up there during the morning hours. Again, Meadows and Timberline each reporting an inch. Snow level 4,000 to about 4,500 feet. You can see the scattered showers in green, coast, and then also some rain moving out toward Pendleton. Been pretty dry the last 2 hours from Portland down into Salem. There's some showers scattered off to our west. A heavier rain shower now just north of Astoria. Vancouver, the Springs at the waterfront camera. Good visibility this morning. We are much warmer with mostly cloudy skies, 47 degrees, much warmer than 24 hours ago when we had some scattered frosty spots. Wilsonville, 42, one of the cooler spots on the weather map, shared with Sandy. Anybody else? Well, Estacada's at 42, so is Corvallis, and actually you've got 41. Aurora, Silverton, and Dallas this morning. Good morning to you. All right, this afternoon, scattered showers out over the Blues, but other than that, the rain chance is not completely gone this afternoon, but overall, we think the majority of our region will be dry with partly cloudy skies, coast and valley up into the low to mid 50s, 40s east of the Cascades. We're dry tomorrow. We're dry Saturday. Here's the big change. We now have a front coming in on Sunday instead of Monday. That means Sunday rain. Here's Chris McGinnis.
Rod, it's been a tough morning on the roads here. Earlier issues near the interstate bridge in the clearing stages. Washed out those still dealing with this earlier fender bender near SR 14 in the lineup. Check this out. I'll step out of the way. It is, heavy merge ahead is what the sign says. That's I-5 up at Main Street. So as you hop on the freeway right now, we are ahead of schedule. 18 to 20 minutes right now to get you in from that side of town. And down in Wilsonville, a northbound crash near the Boone Bridge. It looks like it still has at least one lane blocked, and traffic is backed up from basically the Boone Bridge back towards Arndt Road. So that drive really, let's try that again, really thick, slow coming out of Charbonneau up into the Wilsonville area. Drew?
Thank you, Chris. Hey, quick mention about the KGW Great Toy Drive. It's happening right now, and we still need your help, of course. We want to fill this toy box to the very roof. Please, with your help, we can get it done. We'll have more on that coming up after the break.